This is on the topic of mental health and psychological challenges, psychological warfare. I don't want to talk. Like, my teeth are so crazy. I look like a demon, and maybe I am, but I use my powers for good. Seriously though, I just want to say that I know that it's psychological. There's a lot of psychological warfare that goes on, and abuse, and the way that the narrative gets twisted, etc. And the more that we expose it, the less of an illusion there is. The more that we discuss, did you know this? Did you know this? And the more we know, the more equipped we are. We, as in me and my Evie Nunia, in the situation that we're experiencing, life experience is really, there's no equal. You can go to college, blah, 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 all the books. Life experience, to me, is the credential of all credentials. Because there's no doubt about what you lived through. So, because if we really think about our truth in comparison, because there's no comparison at all to what we're dealing with, we know it's bullshit. I thought about everything that we have experienced. We're the only real thing to all of it, because the false narrative, the twists and turns, and all of the things that's being said or done, no matter how real it seems, it's literally minutia to the bigger picture. I've always said that, because we are the prize. There's a psychological situation. There's no way that you can't look at the situation and say, I need to snap out of the illusion of that what we're dealing with has any real value. Because without us, it doesn't. There's no value in the situation at all. It's garbage. So in an abusive situation, why is it that we have access to all the weapons? We have access to the knives in the kitchen. We have access to the chemicals underneath the faucet. We have access to literally our hands and our feet that work obviously well enough to have produced materialistic possessions that are also valuable. My hands, my mind, my body put this together. So there isn't going to be anybody to say, oh, let's go this way, let's go that way. How about no? How about not? How about I'm going my way? You're going to get on with this, get in accordance with where I'm going, my direction. You get the fuck out of my life. That's it, and that's all. There isn't anything higher that anybody that we've ever had to deal with knows. They don't know better than us. They don't know a better way. They don't know a better route. So they can say whatever they want to say about me and my little welfare money, whatever. I'm still so much more better than all of those people put together. And that's a fact. So my curiosity is, with all the weapons and all the facts about the situation, my daughter owns her car. She owns her studio. She owns her mind and all of her talents. My Evie Nunia is the standard of all standards, if I've ever seen it, in a human being. Because the fucking human trash that I've had to deal with, the lack of all of the great quality and characteristics that my Evie has naturally, Evie Nunia, the fact that she had to develop herself, and she's in development now, despite all of the people that she's had to deal with and the situations that she had to, is inspirational, admirable. I love and respect her for that. And she cannot be tolerating anybody beneath her that's not equaling her level in any way. And there's no way that morbidly obese, burnt pile of fucking dog shit over there is equal to her in any way. No fucking way. So my advice is to utilize your weapons. Do what you have to do. I'm here. Let's get the story straight. Let's get the story straight about how it really is, what we're really dealing with, and how we want it to go. I'm not condoning violence. I'm not ever advising my daughter to jeopardize her own freedom. Absolutely not. What I'm saying that in extreme situations, I should say under no circumstances should she ever play with her own freedom, etc. But in the psychological warfare that I'm discussing, I'm saying the severity of it might feel like there's an impossible sort of no light at the end of the tunnel, maybe. Who knows? Or maybe that's just me talking about how I feel about the situation. Hopeless. No way out. This is the end. Like, this is crazy thinking. I understand that. This is the reason that I'm in therapy and I'm investing in my mental health to help me combat the intrusive thoughts that I deal with on a daily basis and why I'm so exhausted and fatigued. I'm going to be discussing a lot of my challenges, etc. As long as I'm alive, I'm definitely advocating for myself. I'm advocating for myself as in my position as a mother for my daughter, who may or may not be experiencing a crisis. And from what I can see, the interference of her relationship with me is absolutely wrong. Everything that we've dealt with the corruption in the court, is absolutely wrong. So am I condoning violence? No, I'm not. I'm not jeopardizing my own freedom. It's the reason that I've pulled away from the situation and not interacted with it really at all. There's plenty of opportunity to do that. My daughter literally lives in the building next to me, and I love that for her and for myself. She has a place with me always, because home is a person and not a place of residence. So anywhere that I am, she'll always have a place with me as her mother, always. That's one fact above all facts. We're family, that's facts. And the reason that I don't prioritize in my speaking us just being family, because there's a lot of quote-unquote family that we've disconnected from because those people were supposed to be in place of protecting us, loving us, and those same people abused us, which caused a lot of confusion for who we are, our identity, who to trust, etc., etc. Forget about all that trauma. Now we're dealing with the situation disrespectful to our relationship as mother and daughter that we both value. Me and my Yivinunia absolutely value each other. There's no doubt about that. Despite the false narrative, etc., restraining order, blah, 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 I understand that me and my Yivinunia have a very special family dynamic. One like I've never seen anybody else experience or live through before. Truly a one-of-one life experience. And what I'm saying is that I'm not condoning violence, but I'm telling my Yivinunia, I'm giving her authority. I'm giving her her power. I'm telling her and speaking life to her to tell her, use whatever it is that you have, and you have more than any of those people have. Use that. Use that to get yourself out of the situation. If you're expecting me to rescue you and be this superhero mom, I can absolutely do that, but let's get the story straight. Let's get the story straight so that there's respect on your name and mine. And these people that are trying to pull the strings from behind the scenes, they're seen for the disgusting, manipulative idiots that they are. And this is vital to me. I respect me and my Yivinunia. I love us more than anything, above all and overall, absolutely. I'm not condoning violence, but I'm actually giving my Yivinunia authority, and I bless her and her beautiful heart for everything that she's pulling through. Everything that she's really been strong through, stronger than she's ever had to be for anybody. She's been that strong for so many years. And I could say that it's not a good reflection of her strength and her power, because we're not just survivors. But I could also say that absolutely is a reflection of her resilience, which has a lot to do with what she's made of, and that's beautiful. So to tolerate anything less than what you actually are and the contents of your character is unacceptable. You have to find a way out one way or the other. If it's an abusive cycle, we're not a hamster on a wheel. We're not in a rat race of that sort. Get out of there. And I'm here. I'm with you. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying utilize your mind, body, soul, spirit, your emotions as a superpower. Don't ever be victimized by all of your strengths. Be empowered in the truth and understand that you have access to tools. You have access to get out of a situation and create your own reality. You have the power to do that. I wish somebody told me that I had the power to do that, and every day I have to remind myself that I can do that as well, even at 41 years old. And I am. I can't explain or excuse like what is going on. I've been at this place of residence for 3 years. I'm honestly depressed about how like the lack of productivity or like the level of energy that I'm giving or not giving, but I also know that I've been trying things and those things are not really working, so I have to try new things, and this is a fucking process. Okay, I don't know anybody that can move so quickly, like, but things can change in a day, things can change in a month, things can change in a week, things can change in a, I mean, things can just change radically and surprisingly in the best way for us at any point in time. We can make a difference like the snap of a finger. Literally, I can change anybody's reality, including my own, with the blink of an eye. That's the power that we have. It's just the fact. But the reason, another fact, and the reason that I believe that I'm experiencing such this slow progress, which is better than no progress if you ask me, and I've always said that, is that I'm a human being. I have emotions, I have things that I have to process. I'm in a lot of pain and you don't want to feel it. Please trust me when I tell people that. I feel like people don't understand what I'm saying. Like, I'm in pain and nobody can't tell me or rush me through my trauma and etc., etc. But I also know that I can turn this all into a superpower and make this a success story for myself. This is not a long, drawn out, sad sob story about what happened to me, etc., etc., or me like talking to the internet about my life as if anybody cares. But this is a digital footprint that I've created for myself, and it's the reason that I continue to publish content that nobody gives a fuck about, because it means something to me. It timestamps things for me in my own life experience. It allows me to reflect in my own digital journal, video journaling of where I was at this point in time. And it allows me to see my own personal progress, and that's what I'm doing. So that's that. And we have this ability to create this reality. And what I'm telling my daughter and giving her authority to do is to say, whatever you have to do what you need to do for yourself, you do that. And anybody would say, oh, she got a restraining order against you to keep you away because that's what she felt like she needed to do for herself. Oh, is that right? Okay, so tell me why she's still asking me for support from one way or another. It's because she's still staying connected to me, and I appreciate and love that. But I'm saying we have a real relationship. We have to stay connected to one another. We have a real truth to protect. We have a future to live in with one another. I have your truth, you have my truth. We're mother and daughter, and it blows my mind, and it's literally unreal for me to say, oh, this could possibly not happen. Like, there's no reality, and I have no idea how I've miraculously maintained years without my daughter. Is crazy to me. I have no idea how she's miraculously been able to maintain her life without me. Crazy to me. I don't understand, but what it shows me is that we're both experiencing life, and these are our life experiences that's going to support and benefit us in our story. And I ultimately have seen in my mind's eye our unity and the beauty of our relationship and the strength of us. The strength of me and my Evie Nunia is just unmatched. I don't give a damn what anybody sees or how anybody else sees it. Like, oh, I'm on my bed. Like, sometimes I do feel like I'm on my deathbed and this is the end, but it's not. I know that it's not, because it just isn't. It's not. And I'm actively making the choice every day for that. You know, it's like life or death every day. I'm gonna check life. I'm living my life, you know, and I know that's the power that I have. So something about me and my Evie Nunia is that we believe in the righteousness of our truth, the righteousness of our of us, you know, and I understand that there's an X reference number that's been assigned to both of us. And I know that the organized crime, the corrupted government, there's a systemic racism that I do know of that's going to try to route us into one direction or another. And for my Evie to have really pulled through without like defending herself in a physical violence, for her to wake up every day and not choose violence is miraculous. And admirable and inspirational to me about her, knowing that she can and she's capable of that, you know. There are stories of victims who finally get so tired of being abused and stuck in that vicious, disgusting cycle of abuse that those people finally snap. And it's quite a process, I'm guessing. to go through the courts to prove your innocence and etc. But there's also something that is a personal responsibility to avoid putting your freedom in somebody else's hands, somebody else to choose or decide whether you or me was wrong or right in the situation. They have no clue about what the situation was, what you were feeling, thinking, or experiencing at that time or any time before that. When I say you, I mean me and anybody who can relate to this. My health, I'm prioritizing my health above everything, my freedoms, all rights reserved, and understanding that nobody has to respect that. Nobody has to respect any of my liberties or my rights, and it could become a real drawn out process. It could literally rob me of several years of my life, such as the court corruption in the family, corrupted court system that I've already experienced, years of my life gone because of the stress and like my inability to function, and the strength that I exuded though during that time, and my actions that I made in good faith during that time was completely stepped on. And I know that it'll always come back to, or they'll always try to point it back to, oh, well, you're the abusive mother, etc., you're the drunk bum mom, etc., as if that excuses any of them being disgusting and corrupted, and etc., or trying to abuse authority and the law, etc. Anyways, what I'm saying is that I would not be surprised if my Evie did snap and thought that violence was the only way out. But the thing with my Evie Nunia is that she's a genius and she's bright. She always has been. She's always been 10 steps ahead of me. I know that it's annoying when I go into mom mode and mom's gonna mom and mom's gonna lecture and mom's gonna talk like she knows everything, and people don't give teenagers enough credit whenever they say, oh, teenagers are just teenagers. They like to go to concerts and loud music, etc., and experiment with chemicals, etc. I can honestly say that I've been blessed with a beautiful human being, and I'm so proud to be my daughter's mother, and that I'm always sure of who she is and what she's capable of. And I wouldn't be surprised, but I also feel like she's smarter than that. She's not a Neanderthal barbaric R-word that's going to resort to violence. She might do something real like that I've never thought of to do. In fight or flight mode, finally, to get herself out of that situation, because I'm not convinced that she's comfortable in that situation with that fake friendship over there and that disgusting obese pile of burnt gorilla shit. There's no way that anybody that's unhealthy in any way knows anything about life. And so I wouldn't befriend anybody that doesn't reflect the life that I want to live. I don't care how kind and considerate or how desperate for friendship anybody is. The answer is no, and the answer will always be no. There is a place for everybody, including myself, and somebody like that doesn't belong here. And that's it, and that's all. So, and that person doesn't belong in my daughter's studio. My daughter earned and worked hard for everything that she has, and my daughter owns everything. My Evie Nunia is beautiful. So I wouldn't be surprised if she snapped, but I also don't want to put her in that predicament either, because I know that the land of the free and the home of the brave just isn't all what we maybe thought it was, if anybody ever thought it was the dream state. Whatever, that's not been my experience, but I'm not saying that can't be. I'm also saying we can move internationally, is what I'm saying as well. Also knowing that burnt pile of diabetic garbage over there is probably working for the government, and that person needs to be exposed for the lies and the disgusting just infiltrating our space is not okay.